Now finding Firmino, left-hand edge of the 18-yard box with Robertson in support. The Scotsman whips a ball in left-footed over the top of just about everyone. But Rico Henry, having not been given a shout by anyone, nods it behind for a cheap Liverpool corner.
Yeah, go back to the other end first. I don't think Mbeumo looked confident taking on Matip. They had the good ball in a good position, just really hesitated Mbeumo and then allowed Matip to get a challenge in. And as you say, their Liverpool break forward, and I mean, Henry, of course, didn't have to do that, but if he gets no shout, safety first was the right thing, and they concede another corner. And with Alexander-Arnold's delivery, like I keep mentioning, this will certainly cause some issues.
Yeah, right-footed out swinging from the far side. Fabinho, Van Dijk, Matip, Henderson, Firmino, all inside the penalty area. Alvaro Fernandez bouncing around inside his 6-yard box. Dangerous ball in. Fernandez tries to punch it. It falls to Van Dijk, who hits it. Saved by Fernandez on the line. Whether it was him or Ivan Toney who got the block, I'm not quite sure. The ball is then cleared away, but Brentford survive. And I think it's the goalkeeper who's put in a good save.
It was in the end. I mean, it falls to Van Dijk. He takes a touch, and I think if he shoots the other side of the goal, it probably goes in. He just puts it goalwards, and in the end, fair play to Fernandez. I mean, we always on about the bit of criticism earlier on in the game, but that's a really important save by the
to right as we tick over the halfway stage in this first half. Independent unofficial off-tube entry. Liverpool 0, Brentford 0. Through to half-time.
Yeah, thank you very much. And Liverpool is in possession, as it has been for most of the that to make so far, so which isn't too bad. But they win the ball back now with Fabinho, who finds Firmino. Firmino coming forward, will take a shot on, never really convinced, and it goes well wide. I mean, obviously, Firmino's goals get questioned quite a bit, really. Obviously, it's more
a bit of space and then be able to score goals. And we see it with Diogo Jota. When Jota then steps in alongside Mane and Salah, he ball down and brings others into play, but he needs to start scoring goals, because this month without Salah and Mane, it's going to be really tough for Liverpool. We saw against Arsenal in the week, they were struggling for creativity. Today, their best chances come courtesy of a centre-half from a corner. You know, it's not flowing in the same way as it does normally when Liverpool are at full strength. So Firmino needs to find
just confirmation. We saw a replay. It was a save by Fernandez from the last one, and a pretty good one as well.
It was a really good save. Really, really good save. I think he's fortunate that towards the side where he was.
Pretty poor game in truth, but corner comes in. It's towards Van Dijk. Does get his head to it, and that's a much easier save this time for Fernandez. Enjoy his best day at St Mary's against Southampton on Tuesday evening. That save from Van Dijk will certainly give him the world of confidence Plays it forward. Tony heads it on towards Mbuemo, who looks offside. He is.
The side, the quality of Liverpool, and your obvious aim from this game is to play counter-attacking football. You cannot afford to be stood the wrong side of the defender over and over again. And every time Brentford have progressed into that Liverpool half so far, 6.5 minutes, they've been in an
there well by Pontus Jansson, who's done that plenty so far. Then Henry clears out for a throw-in. Pontus Jansson having a very good game, the Brentford skipper at the back so far, it's got to be said. But every time a cross comes in, you would really fancy him in the area. Because Matip finds Van Dijk. Curtis Jones. And Firmino heads down to Henderson, who goes play on him, but it's clearly again by Brentford. Fabinho. Brentford with plenty of bodies back at the moment. Fabinho goes out to Joel Matip. Looks to come forward, his ball is blocked out for a throw-in, and Brentford are keeping a good shape, it's got to be said at the moment. There you saw there, very hard for Liverpool to play through it.
Yeah, I was just thinking exactly that, that full credit to them. They're standing in the ground, and Liverpool are working it from left to right, but are then having to go back the same. There's just no.
Jones on the edge of the box. Jones to Fabinho. Alexander Arnold's in space. He finds him. Alexander Arnold's cross. It's not the best one from him. It's headed away by Pinnock in the end, but Matip steps in to win it back. Here's Ali. Robertson goes to play it back to Jones and does. Jones. On the edge of the area, crosses in, and it's going to be headed away this time by Rico Henry. Fabinho picks it up. Henderson then Van Dijk forward. 71% of possession Liverpool have enjoyed. Very much to be expected in a game against Brentford at Anfield, but fair play to the Bees, who are standing. A lot to do for Fernandes so far, even just the one brilliant save from Van Dijk. I saw a moment ago as well, him unconvincingly really punched the ball clear, but back at the moment. Liverpool struggled to break Arsenal down in the Carabao Cup, despite having the man's advantage. Going to be saw out by Henry for a Brentford throw.
Yeah, credit where credit's due. Brentford are defending very, very well. I mentioned it right at the start of the piece that without they lack that little bit of cutting edge. There isn't anybody or Brentford could nick something in this game, because that's all they're doing. They're sitting back, they're defending hard and doing everything they can. Once they do that, gaps open for the Bees to go and exploit. It is coming, but Liverpool need to find something a little bit different, because from out wide today with
a bit of a rush. Jan Alt it was, he ran forward, who did score actually against Liverpool as well in the game at the Brentford Community Stadium earlier on in the season. So it's going to be Ivan Toney to take the throw, and he's actually going to leave it for Pinnock, who might even launch one. Area it seems here, Brentford are bringing a few bodies. Might be a rare attack at the Liverpool goal. Brentford will certainly be delighted it is 0-0 so far. I mean, they were very much outplayed by Southampton in the week, so... And as mentioned earlier, it's Pinnock who throws it in. That's easy though for Alexander. Could have played in Mbuemo there, but he plays a good ball in field. Janot comes forward and hits one. It's always going over the bar. A bit of a break forward from Brentford, a little bit of encouragement.
Yeah, why not as well? Why not try and take a dig from there? He brings it down well, puts it onto his favoured left foot. Strikes through the ball, but he's leaning back and it's always rising. For Alisson. Liverpool just need to maintain the concentration here whilst the likes of Toney and Mbuemo keep standing in an offside position, but defensively and with Alisson they have to maintain the concentration. We've seen Alisson take a couple of poor touches, scuff the ball out of play.
Jared Bowen, the goal scorer in that one. 1-1 between West Ham United and Leeds United, of course. Play face to come for the second time in 7 days. Matip finds Henderson, who goes forward towards Firmino, takes it down well. Oxlade-Chamberlain from the right-hand side crosses, but it will be headed away, though, in the penalty. Henderson runs away from Toney. Crossing from the right-hand side again, it's cleared, this time by Pinnock. Alexander-Arnold can get the ball back for Liverpool. He plays one in, and that's towards Robertson, who will keep the ball alive.
As well to hit that first time on the volley across goal. In the end, Firmino I think has to do better. He misses it, and then it comes off Ayer and sort of bobbles into Fernandes. Interestingly, in the build-up to that move, Fabinho and Virgil van Dijk were arguing. I saw a couple of minutes ago Henderson and Van Dijk, I think, at where to play the pass.
But again, now that we're Baptiste, he's crowded out on the left-hand side, but he still keeps possession. Played back in by Pinnock, and Fabinho should get there first and does, but a poor ball back to Van Dijk, who does swipe it clear. Rose left back to Mbuemo. Good spell this from Brentford. One they needed, but that's poor from Mbuemo, and he runs it out of play for a throw. But Brentford just seem to lack a bit of belief at the moment. Not a poor touch from him, and it allows Matip to get back and wrapped by Alisson.
Liverpool are fortunate that they're up in front of him. That's made the ball bobble up, which has then made it easier for Matip to deal with. It's not been good enough for Brentford going forward, but Liverpool looks susceptible. It doesn't look like the Liverpool we're used to seeing with Van Dijk and Matip in there, which is their best central defensive pairing. But between them and the rest of the defence, to be fair, because they're not concentrating, they're letting Brentford in.
Good play from Goes to play in Jota. The pass is just intercepted. Good burst forward though by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Concentration there. Alexander-Arnold giving the ball away cheaply. Nearly letting Brentford in. That's a prime example really of why Liverpool do need to keep their concentration, as you say. Thankfully for them, Tony and Mbeumo are not the most confident right now. Robertson finds Jones, back to Robertson, but it'll find Henderson instead. And Henderson back out to Jones. Goes to play a ball in, but instead goes out to Joel Matip. Liverpool with everyone inside the Brentford half at the moment. Van Dijk looking for options forward, finds Henderson. It runs through to Fernandes, and again, Brentford, they'll be happy right now with the way the game's going.
Well, you said before, it's frustrating for the Liverpool players. It's frustrating for us watching as neutrals, because right now they're just struggling to be able to break them down. I've been watching Jota, Oxlade-Chamberlain and Firmino and their rotation, and to see they're wide enough. They played everything in the middle, which is where Arsenal wanted them. Today they're going out wide, but it's only the fullbacks that are doing anything out wide. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Jota, Firmino are staying really narrow, so there's no space. It's almost the three Liverpool players against the back five of Brentford. And, you know, my maths isn't great, but I think when you look at the numbers there, that's Brentford outnumbered. And that's what's causing the problem for the Reds. That's
you can not criticise Brentford but say so for us. Every time they've gone forward, as mentioned, they're not really having the belief. Tony's effort wasn't too bad in truth, it did just go wide in the end. I think actually there might not have been a whistle, judging by the amount of replays they're showing. The ball, because Brentford are coming forward again. Chance on the edge, and it's Fintes Baptiste who plays in. It's cleared by Robertson. No, well, the flag does go up in the end actually against Baptiste, and it will be a Liverpool free kick. And again, Brentford, another criticism, they've been offside way too much in this game so far. Every time they've had a break, they seem to be offside, and that's something that Thomas Frank will want to address at half-time.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, on this occasion, Shandon Baptiste is on. He's played on, it looks like, by Andy Robertson. It was because the Liverpool line all stepped up. They tried to play the offside trap. So they all stepped forward, apart from Robertson, who stayed where he was and then played Baptiste on, but the assistant made the decision on the near side. Ivan Toney's effort before, by the way, John Moss had allowed play to go on because there was a foul, I think. He allowed it to go on, and Toney, in the end, putting it wide. It was a really good opportunity. It was a good strike. It caught Alisson out, as Alisson now has to deal with a back pass and hook the ball out of play.
Yeah, Robertson with a strong challenge on Mbeumo. He certainly got the ball, but Mbeumo felt the follow through. Another goal in the other Premier League game at the London Stadium. It's West Ham United 1 at Leeds United 2. Jack Harrison's got his second of the game. And Leeds, of course, who are down there right now, not enjoying the best season, of course, but they are winning right now. Away at West Ham, who are very much chasing those top 4 places. Having a look at the replay there. Certainly nothing wrong with that from Robertson. He definitely gets the ball, the Scotsman, but bit of a follow-through. Throw it in by Pinnock, and certainly should be a foul in there by Janssen. There was, and yeah, tussling a bit too hard there of Robertson, and definitely looked like a foul.
Yeah, I think he took 2 Liverpool players down there in his wake, did Pontus Janssen, as he was trying to get to the ball first. I mean, it's dangerous areas, is that, for Brentford. That's where they're probably most likely to get a goal today, is from set pieces. And Ethan Pinnock's got a decent throw-in on him. But if you're putting a ball into the box with the limited amount of chances that Brentford will open up in this game, don't then foul your man before the ball's even made it to you, because it's too cheap. It's too cheap to then give it back to Liverpool and allow them to restart. So that's something that Thomas Frank, I think, needs to say to his side at half-time.
Yeah, play opens up now. Henderson finds Alexander-Arnold, who the ball comes off his heel. He goes back to Henderson. Henderson finds Matip. Matip going forward, going on one of them runs. He does like to go on the Cameroonian. He goes forward. He's still going on the edge of the area. He shoots. It's in the end taken a block and ran through. But Brentford, I know Joel Matip is centre-back, but they can't really afford anyone to run forward that far. And in the end, luckily, someone got a block and it ran through comfortably to the goalkeeper. But Matip does enjoy going on them runs from centre-back, and it was very much in show. They made it all the way to the edge of the penalty area.
Oh, yeah, they made it really easy for him, didn't they? As soon as he got past Janelt, they just kept backing off and backing off and backing off. In the end, between Pinnock and Norgard, they do enough to slow him down, and then the shot on the left foot never had the sort of conviction that it needed before being blocked by Pinnock. But again, better from Liverpool. They opened them up as Brentford could be in.
Janelt, Tony in the area. Tony's got a chance to square it, maybe. He does late back. It's a chance. It's blocked by Robertson. What an opportunity that was. I think it was Janelt who scored against Liverpool earlier in the season, and Robertson with a really important block. Interesting if a flag does go up, though, here. Oh, the flag has gone up. Looked like Tony might have just been offside. But again, though, Brentford showing just a couple of signs about breaking forward. A slip by Fabinho. Oh, it's very tight between Tony and Van Dijk there. He might well have been onside. If that had gone to VAR, it would have been interesting. But in the end, Robertson making an important block.
It's beaten Alisson. You know, if Robertson's not there, it finds the back of the net.
Henderson into Chamberlain. Chamberlain takes it down, gets the shot in. It's blocked out for a corner in the end by, I think, Pontus Jansson, who got the block in. But also Liverpool
Diogo Jota, but they then didn't get out quick enough. Left Oxlade-Chamberlain, in an onside position.
So Alexander-Arnold's going to be with an in-swinging corner this time. We mentioned earlier on how Liverpool have been taking out-swinging ones recently. It will be one in from Alexander-Arnold. It's whipped in. It just misses Van Dijk. Fabinho gets there, and Fabinho scores for Liverpool. And the Reds break the deadlock, and that's a difficult corner to deal with. But Brentford let it bounce, and it was Fabinho at the back post who scored. Get the goal just before half-time that they desperately...
Set pieces from Liverpool. It bounces away from everyone. I think Pontus Jansson could have stuck a foot out, but he was too busy dealing with Diogo Jota, and then Fabinho just beats, I think it might have been Ayer at the back post, beats him to it. It's a nice header. All have deserved, because it's another that they haven't dealt with properly, and this time they're punished.
It's a poor goal to concede. All of Brentford's good work in this half has been undone. Nearly finds at the back. Roslev at the back post. It was flicked away. And here's Ayer. Ball flicked forward, but it's just going to edge of the area. Josh of Brentford going forward in this game. That's another example there, being a little bit wasteful. But as for Liverpool, though, they'll be delighted. And the corners have been their main, have caused Brentford the most issues so far. But that's a very disappointing goal to concede from Brentford's point of view. It made it too easy. Chamberlain coming forward. Brentford have got bodies back now. He plays out. That's Alexander-Arnold, who plays it in. But the game opening up now, and that's only going to suit Liverpool, to be honest.
Absolutely, they'll break even quicker. You know, we were talking about Brentford going on the counter-attack, but one thing Liverpool do really well is step up quickly and catch teams. And in this second half, Brentford will be the team that will need to push on. It'll just open.
Yeah, one added minute, which we're nearly played the entirety of now. Here's Jones. Jones finds Robertson.
Brentford 0.
Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandes in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right. Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandes in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. It's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandes in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandes in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandes in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandes in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandez in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandes in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandes in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandes in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. The Reds getting a goal right at the end of the half to give them the lead that their first half play deserved. Trent Alexander-Arnold's corner bounced in the area, not cleared by Brentford, and Fabinho was on hand to nod in at the back post. A Virgil van Dijk strike midway inside the first half forced a decent save from goalkeeper Fernandes in their best chance without scoring. Brentford's Ivan Toney had a 25-yard shot bounced wide in their best effort, but at half-time it's Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. Well, it's a very warm welcome back to this independent, unofficial off-tube studio-based coverage of the Premier League this afternoon. Liverpool 1, Brentford 0 is the score at the break. The Reds relatively comfortable in the first half. They were on top in terms of possession, perhaps didn't create as many chances as they would have liked, but right at the end, a Fabinho header gave them a deserved lead. Brentford looked dangerous when they went on the counter-attack, but were unable to really make any clear-cut chances from their half chances that they had. Ivan Toney's drive from 25 yards wide was the best opportunity that they had. The game is underway, 30 seconds gone in this second period at Anfield. John Moss giving a foul for Liverpool midway inside the Brentford half. Roberto Firmino, the man who's been fouled. So an opportunity then for Liverpool to try and get a ball into the penalty area. There's been no changes for either side at the break, so Liverpool start with Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk and Robertson the back four, Fabinho, Henderson and Jones in the middle with Oxlade-Chamberlain, Jota and Firmino as Robertson whips a dangerous ball into the box, cleared by Janssen. It's struck towards goal by Trent Alexander-Arnold, but it's a long way over the bar. For Brentford, they've got Fernandes in goal, Ayer, Janssen and Pinnock the back three, Roslev, Janelt, Norgard, Baptiste and Henry are a midfield back five, with Henry and Roslev dropping back, and Mbeumo and Toney are up front. There is another game going on, of course, in the Premier League as well at the moment. Another 2 o'clock kickoff where it remains West Ham 1, Leeds United 2. We'll keep you updated. We were sort of saying off air that this could go one of two ways, I suppose. If Liverpool get a goal, you'd expect them to almost ease themselves through to a 2-0 win. If Brentford score, it really opens the game up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Liverpool, that goal at the end of the half, they were frustrated at times, Liverpool. We saw a little bit of arguing going on between defence and midfield on how to break this Brentford team down. Eventually they did it, and it was a very soft goal to concede from Brentford. I think Brentford will still want to defend well, of course. They did that in the first half, and I think that they need to be a bit more clinical when they go forward, Brentford, because every time they did in the first half, it wasn't good enough. They were either offside or they lost the ball and had loose touches. As for Liverpool, though, yeah, I think if right now, they'll just be happy to be in front really. If they get another goal, it's very hard to see a way back for Brentford.
Jordan Henderson down the right-hand side, early ball in towards the near post. Alvaro Fernandes able to gather it. It bounced once, and then the goalkeeper's able to get it into his gloves. It's a dangerous ball in from Henderson. Roberto Firmino, the intended target. The Brazilian just not quite close enough to it, and in the end, comfortable goalkeeping from the Spaniard.
I think Ayer does enough there, really gets in front of Firmino, makes it very hard for him, and in the end, the bounce makes it very easy for Fernandes to just to gather.
Yeah, headed away by Ayer, flicked on by Janelt. Virgil van Dijk is there to nod the ball clear as Vitaly Janelt battles not once but twice with Fabinho. Another long ball forward from the Bees is dealt with by the Dutchman before Trent Alexander-Arnold's ball forward goes straight out of play. A relatively big second half, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things for Liverpool, looking to keep up the chase on Manchester City, who are an absolutely incredible animal at the top of the Premier League table. They're a side that don't look like being caught, and Liverpool, I suppose, will be disappointed that they are as far away as they are at the moment, currently 14 points adrift of Manchester City. A win would take them within 11 points, but it still feels like the title race is bin and gone, and for Liverpool it's now a battle for second.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the start of the season we had so much hopes of a great title race. Manchester United looked strong, of course, Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester City. Brentford was about to make a change here, Henry off, Canos on. So Thomas Frank making the first change of the game. But no, I think Liverpool, like you say, they'll be very disappointed. I think they started the season so well. They've still got to go to the Etihad Stadium, and unless they win there, it's very hard to see them winning the league this season. But Man City, when they usually...
Diogo Jota, 10 yards ahead of him. The Portuguese turns and finds Curtis Jones on the left, midway inside Brentford territory, about 2 yards in from the touchline. Now Fabinho in sort of the middle third of the pitch. He finds Henderson, who turns under pressure from Tony. Now Jota out to Robertson, who's got time and space, fronted up by Mads Roerslev. Instead finds Fabinho, switches the play from left to right for Alexander-Arnold. Dangerous ball in from him. Henderson tries to knock the ball down for Oxlade-Chamberlain. It's dealt with just about. Ethan Pinnock clears only as far as Fabinho, who hits it. Comfortable for Fernandes. The goalkeeper shifts his feet and gets behind it, but a decent strike from the Brazilian midfielder.
Yeah, poor clearance by Pinnock there. Just played it straight to the chest of Fabinho. Very unconvincing. And all of a sudden, Fabinho, 3 goals so far in 2022. So the Brazilian, not known for his goal scoring, but he's not doing too badly at the moment. It's straight at the goalkeeper. Not a bad strike from Fabinho. Hits it quite cleanly, but luckily for Fernandes, it was straight at him.
Here's Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side, midway inside his own half. A long ball forward looking for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. It's nodded away. And now Sergi Canos gets his first touch of the day. He was the only change from the 4-1 defeat to Southampton last time out. So we're now, as we were for the game at St Mary's, as Roerslev hooks the ball clear, right-footed. Robertson into Jota. Important challenge from Christian Norgard there to prevent Jota from getting away as Bryan Mbeumo keeps it in play, but Virgil van Dijk will get there and knock the ball back to goalkeeper Alisson. As Liverpool try and go through the gears here, they are leading. They don't necessarily need to enforce themselves on the game. They've had 75% possession so far in this game, 14 attempts. As a header back could well cause Pontus Jansson some problems, gets there ahead of Roberto Firmino, goes back to goalkeeper Alvaro Fernandes, whose clearance is really poor. Mads Roerslev keeps it in, but gives it away to Robertson. Now Henderson out to Curtis Jones, midway inside the Brentford half on the left. And he goes back to the halfway line. And Liverpool looking very comfortable in possession, as they did in the first half. Here's Jones skipping in field away from Roerslev and Norgard, edge of the penalty area. He's got Henderson with him, goes for goal himself, and it's a comfortable take from Fernandes in the end down to his right. Yeah,
good play from Jones there, though. Real good break forward, good skill, and in the end gets the shot away. Again, it's very comfortable for Fernandes to make the save, but I think Liverpool are zipping it around a bit quicker in this half. There's not as much desperation in their play as well. I think at times they were getting so frustrated with themselves. The play was a little bit slow and a bit laboured, but in this half, though, they look like they've got a lot of confidence, and comfortable save again for Fernandes, but again, he's been tested, and I think Liverpool are looking good, and I think the way they're going, a second goal should be coming soon.
Here's Oxlade-Chamberlain trying to do just that. Gets beaten to the ball, though, by Pontus Jansson, and Brentford will then clear through Norgard into Mbeumo. Under pressure, goes backwards to Ivan Toney, currently in the left-back spot as his attempted ball forward is blocked by John Henderson and goes out of play for a Bees throw-in. There's been a 4th goal that's gone in at the London Stadium. It was West Ham 1, Leeds 2. It's now 2 apiece. Pablo Fornals with the Hammers' 2nd goal of the game. Long ball forward from Fernandes, aiming towards Mbeumo. Janelt helps it on its way to Toney. Well dealt with, actually, by John Henderson, who battled back to get there. As Pinnock Nods it into Norgard, takes it round a corner, gets away from Jordan Henderson. That's well played by the midfielder. And he finds Mbeumo out to Sergi Canos, who just cannot quite get there. It was a heavy ball from Mbeumo, but for a second there, it just opened up for the Bees. In the first half, Mbeumo, Tony, and the general front line of Brentford were really struggling with those touches. There were heavy touches, there were misplaced passes. As John Moss here is just having a word with Jordan Henderson and Christian Norgard. I think it might have been a coming together off the ball when the two of them were battling away on the halfway line. John Moss relatively happy now to allow play to go on, but Brentford just need to make the ball stick in the final third if they want to get anything out of this game.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mbeumo, but everything he's touched today has just gone out of play, or Liverpool players intercepted him. It's just not clicked for him, unfortunately. I mean, Tony just found himself in the left-back position a moment ago and dropping deep, and I think that just sums up Brentford's attack so far. Here they come forward now, though, but again, I thought they're going to lose possession. They've still got it, actually, with Baptiste, but and that's Alisson who will get there. But every time Brentford have gone forward, just not going for them at the moment. And I mean, like I say, maybe Canos as an introduction they might need going forward, and hopefully for him, he can cause Liverpool a few more issues.
Here's Van Dijk out to Robertson on the left-hand side. Down the line, he finds Diogo Jota, who tries to get away from Christian Norgard, who went across to put the challenge in. Brentford win it back, and Pontus Jansson has it here midway inside his own half with a couple of glances forward, under pressure by Roberto Firmino. Diogo Jota then goes across and puts the challenge in on Christopher Ayer. So it will be a Brentford throw-in here, about 5 or 10 yards inside their own half on the far right-hand side as we see it. Independent, unofficial, off-tube, studio-based commentary. Just under 55 minutes on the clock. Norgard with a ball over the top for Tony. He's just going to run away from him into Alisson. Tony, who's sitting on the shoulder of the last defender every single time the Bees get in possession. They're looking to play that ball over the top, whether it's for Tony or Mbeumo. That one a little bit too heavy. And I'm also not sure whether Tony was offside anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Alisson comes out. The important thing for Alisson there is not that he gets there, but he doesn't take the ball out of the area. He was coming out at some speed there, Alisson, but in the end he did manage to stop himself. Always difficult for a goalkeeper when you're running at speed and you just pick the ball up on the edge of the area, because you've got to be careful you don't take it out. And in the end he got there. And I just say, I'm not really sure the flag would have gone up against Tony anyway, to be honest. But yeah, again, Brentford just showing a couple of signs going forward, though, recently, as they look to try and put the Liverpool defence under a bit more pressure.
Yeah, they've given the ball away, though, here as Jota gets into the penalty area on the left-hand side. Attempted ball in, blocked by Ayer, and it will be a Liverpool corner. It was cheap from Brentford initially to give the ball away, but Jota broke into the penalty area and the attempted cross is well defended.
Yeah, in fairness to Brentford, they are still defending quite well, really. A lot of it is last-ditch, but they're doing well. As you see, there's 7 corners for Liverpool, none for Brentford. And, of course, Liverpool open the scoring from a corner. They've gone back to outswingers, though, for now.
Yeah, Robertson with it left-footed towards Matip, bobbling around on the edge of the 6-yard box, hooked away by Sergi Canos. It'll be picked up here by Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain on this near right-hand side. He tried to get away from Vitaly Janelt, but the German does well to win it. He then claims he's fouled by Oxlade-Chamberlain. It's not a view initially that was shared by John Moss, who now has pulled it back and given a free kick. Just looking again, Oxlade-Chamberlain cheaply giving the ball away, and then not quite sure what the contact was from Oxlade-Chamberlain.
No, it looked like, I mean, if it is a foul as well, surely it's got to be a yellow card for Oxlade-Chamberlain, because he's stopping him playing the ball forward, which he did actually do, but, you know, he's stopping an attack, really. So I'd have been surprised if it wasn't a yellow card. But like you say, looking at the replay, I don't think there was any contact at all. If anything, Janelt just fell to the floor and got the decision, which, yeah, not sure if there was any contact at all, judging by that replay.
Yeah, a bit of a strange one. If you have just joined us and you've not been keeping up to date with breaking news, about 10 minutes ago, Rafa Benitez was confirmed to have been sacked by Everton. So big news from the blue side of Merseyside. We'll just touch on that very quickly. A tough run for Rafa Benitez, 9 defeats in his last 12 games, hovering around the bottom few places in the Premier League. There's no real surprise, is there, that he's lost his job after that defeat to Norwich yesterday?
It was always going to be difficult for Rafa going to Everton. He's very liked at Liverpool, understandably so. He won Liverpool the Champions League in one of the greatest finals ever. But as for Everton, he started really well for him, don't forget. At the end of September, they were 1 point off top of the table. It started so well, but in the end, something just hasn't clicked. I mean, every time Everton play, nothing really seems to get going. I think there's a lot of unhappy players there. Obviously, you've had the Luca Dean situation, who's now left the club to go Aston Villa. A lot of that apparently was to do with his relationship with Rafa Benitez, and it's a real shame. But where Everton are in the table, they've spent a lot of money in the last few years. They have to be doing better, and it's no surprise Rafa's lost his job, unfortunately. And Everton now, interestingly, who they appointed. But here come Brentford.
Yeah, and Mbeumo in the area, shifted onto his left foot and drags the shot wide. It's the first time that the first touch has actually stuck for Bryan Mbeumo. Did really well just to shift it onto his favoured left foot. Tried to bend it into the bottom corner, but bends it just wide. Confirmation as well. He was onside as the ball was played in.
Real good chance for Mbeumo. Good ball played into him, actually, and he gets the ball. As you say, the touch favours him. He takes it wide. Oh, it's so close. What a chance for Brentford. A goal there, and that could certainly have changed the game. But in the end, though,
balance, slices it almost into Rosette in the cup.
I think he could have took a touch there, actually, and eventually found Firmino. I mean, the shot was always inviting, obviously, the way the ball felt him. But again, that's a warning for Brentford. They have a chance to make it 1-1. Liverpool nearly go up the other end and make it 2-0. We're looking at the Mbeumo chance again. It's such a good opportunity for him. He just goes to curl it round Alisson, and oh, it's so close, just goes wide. But that might be a chance Brentford regret at the end of the game. It's fair to say they're best of the game by quite some way, and as you can see by Thomas Frank, very disappointed.
Yeah, absolutely. He stood on the sideline with his arms folded at the moment, the Danish head coach, just trying to figure out what his next move is and what his side's next move is. They trail at the moment by a goal to nil. Liverpool 1, Brentford 0. We're just approaching the hour mark. Trent Alexander-Arnold with a throw-in on this near right-hand side. I can tell you there has been a fifth goal at the London Stadium. I think we're on the wrong game, Sam. Where West Ham trail again. West Ham 2, Leeds United 3. And what a day for Jack Harrison. A hat-trick for him as Henderson plays the ball into Roberto Firmino. Well charged down by Christopher Ayer. The ball goes out of play for a corner.
Yeah, good play by Ayer. Got round on the cover in front of Firmino and puts it behind. But again, corners have been Brentford's weakness in this game. I think every single one that's gone in, they've struggled to deal with. So, Van Dijk and Matip making their way forward as well. Obviously, we saw Liverpool's goal from a corner. But I just say, what a game it sounds at the London Stadium between West Ham and Leeds. And what a day for Jack Harrison, who's got a hat-trick. But Alexander-Arnold with an out-swinging corner. This could cause Brentford some more issues.
Yeah, let's hope we get a few more goals in this game so we can try and catch that one up. As Alexander-Arnold will take this right-footed out-swinging from the near side. Dangerous ball in towards the near post. Headed away by Ivan Toney. Bryan Mbeumo will bring it down. Under pressure from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. He plays a ball over the top. It's a bit aimless, brought down by Andy Robertson, who goes all the way back to Alisson. Under pressure, though, from Jan Elty. Lofts it away. Alexander-Arnold helps it on its way as Toney, under pressure from Matip, loses out. It just looked like he stood on the ball and in the end fell over. And now Firmino out to Curtis Jones. Diogo Jota's on the left-hand side. Jones, though, driving towards goal. Good challenge from Norgard, 25 yards out. Here is Jota on the left-hand side. Back for Fabinho. Now into Matip on the edge of the centre circle. Turns out and plays it right-footed out to Jordan Henderson. And Henderson's pass just sold Trent Alexander-Arnold short. And Matip will come and mop up and play the ball all the way back to the goalkeeper. And it's almost like we're watching the first half all over again. Liverpool looking dangerous going forward. Brentford trying to play on the counter, just without that, well, both sides, I suppose, without that cutting edge.
Yeah, I think the important thing for Liverpool to know is they are a goal up now, so they don't have to really attack as much. But for Brentford, they've still got to defend well, obviously. They concede another. The game is pretty much beyond their reach at this stage. But what Brentford have got to do is do better going forward. But it's Liverpool on the attack now.
Yeah, Jota 30 yards out, takes a heavy touch, invites the challenge from Janssen. Alexander-Arnold takes a touch to get away. The shot comes in off the post. Firmino picks it up on the edge of the 6-yard box. He goes for goal. Saved by Fernandes down to his right-hand side. I think it might have been Diogo Jota who hit it on the turn. He's limping away from it. Just seeing a replay. It was Jota who was challenged by Janssen initially, and then, yeah, it is. It's Jota who strikes it well onto the post, bounces away, and then Firmino's effort is saved.
Yeah, real good chance there. Alexander-Arnold does the right thing. He goes to shoot. He takes a touch. Then it falls to Jota. Jota, it's the face of the post. Then Firmino goes to sneak one in at the near post. And Fernandes makes a pretty comfortable save. But Diogo Jota in that position, you'd probably expect him to score, really. But unfortunately for him, the ball cannons back off the post. And a good chance for Firmino. But good goalkeeping really by Fernandes to keep that near post covered and make the save. And again, Brentford survive.
Canos with the ball into the penalty area, looking for Mbeumo, beaten to it by Alisson. Mbeumo, I think, just caught Joel Matip as he was inside the penalty area. The referee, though, happy for play to go on as Liverpool try and get forward, but Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain can't get on the end of a crossfield ball. 63 minutes on the clock. Liverpool 1, Brentford 0 in the other game in the Premier League. It's West Ham United 2, Leeds United 3 at the London Stadium. That game is also available on this service, but why would you go anywhere? This is the better game, obviously, this afternoon, as Mads Roerslev plays a nice ball into Christian Norgard. Now Brian Mbeumo into Vitaly Janelt. Sergi Canos is on this left-hand side. Canos, infield for Mbeumo. Back to Canos once again. He's got Shandon Baptiste in support. Here's Norgard with the ball out to the left-hand side. Mbeumo, level with the edge of the 18-yard box, about 6 or 7 yards in from the near touchline. Finds Ethan Pinnock into Norgard. And now back to Pontus Jansson in the centre circle. His ball over the top, I think, caught everybody by surprise. Mbeumo and Canos scrambling to try and keep the ball in. It looks like Mbeumo was in an offside position. That's why he was surprised by the fact the ball came in. So it will be a free kick. But again, we're talking about Brentford players offside as a ball's played over the top.
Yeah, nothing's gone right for Mbeumo. I think he had that really good chance, of course, a few minutes ago to put his side level. But again, they're needlessly being offside, and Brentford, I mean, Ivan Toney, I've noticed, been dropping very deep in this game. Maybe that's frustration that he hasn't really received the ball too much, but every time Brentford go forward, it just seems to break down, and Liverpool are finding it so easy to deal with their threats right now. And other than that Mbeumo opportunity, they've not really offered anything going forward. But that was a reminder, that Mbeumo opportunity, that they only need one to try and get back into the game.
Here's Curtis Jones over the halfway line. He's got Firmino to his left. He's now 35 yards from goal. His attempted ball out to Alexander-Arnold is well watched by Brian Mbeumo, who may well just play himself into trouble here. Throws himself to the ground inside his own penalty area. It looked particularly soft. Me and you, Sam, just shared a look, I think, suggesting the same thing. Jones went across, was putting Mbeumo under pressure, never touches him, and Mbeumo flops to the floor.
It's one of them. Every time a defender does that in that position, they always get the decision, but the attacker in Jones, in truth, barely touched him. He was all eyes on the ball as well, and Mbeumo's definitely bought that decision, unfortunately. And yeah, again, it's one of them. The defender usually gets it, but now Jones has barely touched him there, and he's got away with one in Mbeumo. Here's
Ayer over the halfway line, looking for Roerslev, who was sold short there. He was played the pass when he was maybe 2 or 3 yards behind Andy Robertson, who's no slouch. He's got quite a bit of pace to him, Robertson, and he was able to beat the young Dane to the ball. And now a chance for Liverpool to break down that left-hand side in the space where Roerslev was. In the end, Janelt does well to step in ahead of Firmino and win possession and go back to his goalkeeper Fernandes with a long ball forward. Robertson able to flick the ball onto Jones, who just about keeps it in play. All seemed to go in slow motion there as the players were watching to see whether or not anything was going to be given. Henderson then flicks a ball over the top with both Firmino and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain offside, and the game's just slowed into a lull at the moment. Both sides not quite cancelling each other out, but Brentford certainly frustrating their opponents without actually creating much themselves. Liverpool 69% possession, 19 shots, 8 on target. Brentford have had 3 shots and all 3 have been off target. Here's Firmino into Diogo Jota, tries to get away from Janssen and does. Jota, good save from Fernandes, who got out quickly, spread himself. Not sure exactly what he saved the ball with, but he got his body in the way and does enough to thwart the Portuguese.
Brilliant save by Fernandes, really good save. Good play by Jota. It's a loose ball, and then Firmino picks it up. Jota, good play, gets in, and you'd back Diogo Jota in a one-on-one situation to score. In truth, it's straight at the goalkeeper, but Fernandes has to make himself big, has to narrow the angle for Jota. He does that really well. It's a really important save by the Brentford goalkeeper.
Yeah, it is indeed. It looks like in the end it comes off his chest as he gets across and spreads himself as best he can. He does enough to keep the scoreline at 1-0 and very much keep Brentford in it as they make a change. Visser is on for Baptiste, so an attacking change. And Visser, of course, scored. I think he scored the equaliser in that 3-3 draw with Liverpool at the start of the season. A player who has form for coming on and scoring late goals. Here's Curtis Jones trying to break forward. He goes out to the left-hand side, and Andy Robertson now back for Jones once again. The fact that Brentford have brought an attacking player on will just potentially give Liverpool more hope that they can now penetrate through and find more space in deep areas. There's Van Dijk, plays it out to the left-hand side and finds Fabinho into Jones. Now Robertson into Firmino, turning away just to the left of centre, midway inside the Brentford half. Janelt then steps across and manages to get the ball back to the goalkeeper, Alvaro Fernandez, and it's the perfect time then with a quarter of the game to go. Independent, unofficial, off-tube, studio-based commentary. Liverpool 1, Brentford 0, and Sam Wright will take us through to full-time and hopefully bring a couple of goals. So
yes, Liverpool 1-0 up at the moment with just over 68 minutes on the clock, but of course Brentford have just made their change. Visser, who did score the equaliser when the two sides met earlier in the season in what was a thrilling 3-3 draw at the Brentford Community Stadium. Not quite as thrilling today, but Liverpool will not mind if they are leading. Henderson finds Alexander-Arnold, a great chance to double their lead a moment ago with Diogo Jota. A chance 9 times out of 10 he probably scores, the Portuguese, but a really good save by Fernandez. Robertson comes forward now, plays one in, good ball as well. Chamberlain heads it, and it is 2-0. What a cross by Robertson. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain at the back post makes it Liverpool 2, Brentford 0, and surely now, even with 20 minutes to go, the points are safe for Jurgen Klopp's side.
Well, I asked you to bring us goals, Sam, and you did it within a minute. It's a lovely ball in, isn't it, from Robertson on the left-hand side. And Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, not known for goal scoring and not known for scoring with his head, does really well to stoop in, a diving header in at the back post. Again, it's one that I think Brentford will look at and be disappointed with the manner of the goal. It's a good Liverpool move, actually. Just Van Dijk out to Robertson. The ball in is good. Kanyos was the man who switched off, allowed Oxlade-Chamberlain to get the wrong side of him, and it's a powerful header from the forward to surely wrap things up for Liverpool.
Yeah, that's the disadvantage of having Canos on the pitch and not Rico Henry. Rico Henry very much more a defensive left-back, really, and I think Canos there switching off, lets Chamberlain get in behind, but that's the quality of crossing by Andy Robertson. Liverpool, Alexander-Arnold and Robertson's cross, and I can't really praise it enough. That's a magnificent ball, and Oxlade-Chamberlain, it's a gift for him, really, and it's a really good header as well. 2-0, and as you say, the points are surely safe for Jurgen Klopp's side now, and Oxlade-Chamberlain, not really known for goal scoring, as you say, not the most prolific goal scorer. 2-0, and well, that one surely wraps it up, and that's what Jurgen Klopp wanted, goals from the wing in the absence of Mane and Salah, and he's got that from Chamberlain today. And Brentford now looking to come forward though with Mbuemo. Mbuemo then goes to the right side to Ayer. Ayer crosses in, it's left for Tony, and it's blocked by Matip. Good dummy there in the area as well. Liverpool now look to come forward with Firmino. The ball's won back though by Pinnock, and Brentford can clear, and Robertson now hoofs it forward, and the ball's back with the Brentford goalkeeper Fernandez. But again, Brentford now, they've got nothing to lose, I guess you can say, so maybe they will just go for more attacks, but they don't want the scorelines to come embarrassing either. Yeah,
I think, to be fair, I think if they start really asserting themselves on the game, I think it plays into Liverpool's hands even more. It gives them more of an opportunity to try and break forward quickly because, players like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who haven't had much game time this season, will want to go and score again. They'll want to have more of an impact on the game as he wins it. It's a good challenge from Pontus Jansson to win it back. Brentford just look flat. It looks like it's knocked the wind out of the sails as Liverpool come forward again.
Yeah, Firmino, chance to Alexander-Arnold, good defending that time by Canos, and Brentford can clear. And there's actually a man down in the penalty area here. The referee's not going to pull play back for now. Looks like it might be Oxlade-Chamberlain who's down at the moment. The referee eventually does stop play. They're not really sure what happened off the ball there, but he doesn't look too good here, Oxlade-Chamberlain, holding that ankle. And I mean, we know his history with injuries, and it would just be a real shame, just the fact he just scored his goal to then have to go off injured and miss some time.
Yeah, it looked pretty nasty when he did it because, I mean, initially it looked like it looked a bit innocuous. I'm not sure whether Pontus Jansson just stands on his toe and that rolls his ankle. But as you say, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, a player who ultimately has had his career dishevelled by injuries. When he was breaking through at Arsenal, he had so much potential. It looked like an England international, a player who would be playing for years and years to come at the highest level. Yes, he got his move to Liverpool, but his opportunities at Liverpool have been sporadic because of the amount of injuries he's had. It has definitely had an influence on his career. He looks in pain here. Takumi Minamino is stripped off and ready to come on. I'd expect him to come on for Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's done well for 72 minutes, got himself that second goal. The hope here, and you always worry when you see a player go down off the ball and relatively unchallenged, the hope is that he's going to be okay, because as much as anything, as he now jogs off the pitch, as much as anything, Liverpool need him. With no Mane and no Salah, they can't afford to lose any more players.
Absolutely, Oxlade-Chamberlain looks like he is okay. He's certainly moving quite freely all of a sudden. It might have just been a bit of an impact injury, and it looks like he will be okay. We did see, though, during the injury, Takumi Minamino warming up, well, actually ready to come on, actually, in fact, now. So interesting if he does replace Chamberlain. Surely at this point he will. Klopp won't. Anything further, of course, in the absence of to Sellers Park, but more importantly, have a Carabao Cup semi-final second leg against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium in the week. 2 trips to London in quick succession. And there's Curtis Jones coming forward now. This play is really opening up. His pass given away. Falls over to Robertson. It's a really good block, actually, in the end by Ayer. And right now, I'd say the play is really opening up for Liverpool, and it's suiting them. And it wouldn't be surprising if they go on and get another goal soon.
100%. I think it's coming. And I think when they bring Minamino on as somebody who's quite tricky on the ball and drifts about in good little... I think it plays into the hands of Liverpool. And I think him down the touchline, and then I think berating him at the fact that he didn't go back on and make sure Liverpool had 11 men, because they were playing with 10 as they went forward a few moments ago. But Minamino on, I think, will give them something a little bit different. He's perhaps not as direct as Oxlade-Chamberlain. He will look to play those neat little passes, and he's good on the ball. So it could be interesting to see if Minamino has an impact on this game.
Yeah, since signing a couple of years ago, Minamino, his career's never really got going at Liverpool. Was loaned out, of course, at Southampton last season as well. Liverpool come forward. It's an uncharacteristically poor ball in there by Andy Robertson, actually, and it goes out for a goal kick. I've been praising his crossing all day, and then he goes and does that. And now's a change for Brentford. So that Jensen is going to be the man to come on, the number 8 for Brentford. Thomas Frank, interesting, he just probably wants the scoreline to be kept down. That's Brian Mbeumo. It looks like he was going to be coming off, and it's not been the finest day for Mbeumo, it's fair to say. It's just not really clicked.
No, he had his good effort, didn't he? He had probably the best chance of the second half so far when he turned well, but for both him and Ivan Toney, it's not gone very well. What I would expect now is for them just to revert back to type. Visser will push up alongside Toney. Jensen will come back into the midfield, make it back to a 5-3-2. So it's not necessarily a negative change, but it's just reverting back to the way they've been playing all game, as opposed to those sort of 10 minutes where Visser and Toney and Mbeumo between them were perhaps selling the rest of the team short.
Absolutely. It's been a 6th goal at the London Stadium, or has there actually? It looks like it's been ruled out, in fact, by VAR. Rafinha looked like he had scored for Leeds to make it 4-2, but that's not the case now. The goal has officially been ruled out by VAR, so a big blow there for Leeds United. But Liverpool, it is in possession now with Van Dijk. He plays one over to Henderson. Firmino, Alexander-Arnold finds Robertson on the left-hand side coming forward. Robertson will find Fabinho, the scorer of the opening goal. Alexander-Arnold will hit one. It's not a bad effort, but it goes wide. I mean, with Alexander-Arnold's shooting ability from there, it's fanciest chance, but that one slightly off target.
Yeah, his first touch didn't quite set it perhaps as nice as he would have liked. It just invited Ivan Toney, so I think he just snatches at the shot, to be honest with you. And in the end, it's harmlessly away from goal. Actually, looking at it again, it's not that far away, as Liverpool could be in.
Yep, Minamino, and it is 3-0. Brentford playing themselves into all sorts of trouble, and it's a gift wrap for Liverpool, really. Well, the Brentford defence will not want to look back at that one again. And, yeah, 3-0 to Liverpool, and it's all of a sudden looking convincing for them. Yeah,
it's an absolute shocker, isn't it? Minamino getting his goal. I said that he'd come on and cause problems, and he's done just that, but it's a problem completely of Brentford's own making. It'll be interesting to see exactly how it comes about. Independent, unofficial, off-tube, studio-based coverage. It's Alvaro Fernandez plays the ball to Ethan Pinnock. Pinnock goes back to Fernandez, who just in the end sells Norgard short, and then Firmino does well to win it, finds Minamino, whose finish is very good, to be fair to Minamino. He just slots it into the corner, but it is a howler from goalkeeper and midfielder, and Liverpool punish them. If it wasn't game over before, it probably is now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Fernandez's footwork's been heavily criticised already, his distribution, which is a very big part of goalkeeper's game these days. But there you see it, though. You've just got to go long. He plays it into his centre-back with Firmino closing him down. Well, Norgard, a midfielder, of course. And then they just nick in and score. It's really poor in truth. And James Milner's coming on now for Liverpool. And that's the end of Roberto Firmino's afternoon. I mean, getting the assist there for the third goal. That'll do Minamino's confidence the world of good. I think the good news for Jurgen Klopp today is that Oxlade-Chamberlain and Minamino have both scored. In the absence of Mane and Salah, players like that are going to need to chip in, and that's exactly what they've done on this occasion. But as for Brentford, though, 10 points clear of the relegation zone at the moment. I mean, I don't want to worry Brentford fans with that, but they've got 7 goals conceded now this week. They've got to be a little bit careful, Brentford, that their form doesn't dip too much to the point where they, do get dragged into a battle. Because Norwich picked up a win yesterday, Newcastle might pick up a few wins eventually. They've got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, this is the thing. When you look at the bottom 5 or 6, you've got Everton, who are going to have a new manager. That will help them. Leeds are beginning to get players back. Yes, they've had 2 players go off in today, which doesn't help them. But if they get 3 points against West Ham, plus have the likes of Bamford and Rodrigo back in the team, they will continue to progress. Norwich, good win yesterday. Newcastle, God knows who they're going to sign from now until the end of the window, but they could have a big window that helps them to push on. And Watford, again, you don't know what you're going to get with Watford. They're either terrible or not bad. So I think Brentford will still be cautiously looking over the shoulder. Once they get to sort of 35 points, they're fine, because the 40-point mark has dropped substantially this season. It doesn't look like... I think 30 points might save teams now, but Brentford just need to be careful. They need to keep an eye on it and get a few results. But if we're being honest, Liverpool at Anfield is not a game that you're going to be judged on at the end of the season. It's your games against the teams that are down there. And if they can get positive results against the likes of Newcastle and Leeds, they'll be fine.
So Liverpool come forward. Alexander-Arnold's good bit of defending, though, in the end by Ayer. But, yeah, I mean, like you say, Brentford, I agree. They're not going to be judged on games at Anfield. I'm sure Thomas Frank wouldn't have looked at this as a 6-pointer. He'd have looked at anything as a bonus. Unfortunately, it's not really gone their way. They are, of course, 3-0 down. But in truth, though, that might flatter Liverpool a little bit. I think Brentford have been in the game for the majority. But in the end, though, a little bit of defensive lapses as well have let them down. But obviously, we saw the game earlier in the season between the two. We know how good Brentford can be on their day. Liverpool in possession now as they look to try and add a 4th. Henderson coming forward. Finds Alexander-Arnold. Jota goes back to Alexander-Arnold, who then finds Joel Matip. Because Liverpool, of course, I mentioned travelling to Selhurst Park next week, but before that they have a Carabao Cup semi-final 2nd leg against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium. A very poised game that as well, with 0-0 at Anfield on Thursday evening. Arsenal were reduced 10 men in that game as well. Liverpool still having possession. I should expect them to have the majority of for the remainder of the game. Here's Milner having his first couple of touches. He finds Robertson, who goes back to James Milner. Minamino goes to play it back to him, and Milner thought he was blocked off. The referee says no, and then the ball's given away again cheaply by Brentford, who seem to have really lost their confidence as this game's gone on. Robertson, Fabinho might line up another effort. Instead, he finds Jordan Henderson. Henderson to Alexander-Arnold, who goes back to Fabinho. Jota, and then he gives it away to Sergi Canos, and the play breaks down for Liverpool. Canos goes forward, and Tony, as has been the case for most of the game, kind of isolated up